How do you feel about being friends with an ex? Dramatic pause for no reason.
No, that's how I feel about it. Like,
that's how you feel about it.
Literally. For me, I feel like a relationship with an ex or a friendship with an ex or whatever, it's like once it's over, right? Like I'm a cut it. There's no need for us to talk anymore. Like whether we end on good terms or bad terms or whatever, there's no need to reignite an old flame. You know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut its life source. I'm not gonna feed it nothing. I'm not gonna give it no attention. I'm not gonna keep talking to it or her, not it, her or them. I'm just gonna cut it completely because I don't want to reignite anything or lead them on or give them any misinterpretation of anything. So for me personally, it's crickets. That's how I feel about it.
Crickets. Well, for me, I totally get that. Like once it's over, and I definitely stand with you there. But in terms of like being friends with them, I don't mind that. Like obviously I'm not gonna be buddy with my ex or anything like that, but like being cordial with them is something that I can do, you know, like I can tolerate being cordial with them. Like I was telling him that like one of my previous exes, not the most recent one, but like one of my previous ones, me and him are actually on pretty good terms, you know, like him and I.
Sorry. I had to do that because she always tries to correct my
because
English.
you need correcting. I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding. Anyways, so him and I, we're on pretty good terms, and like I can actually come to him and ask him for advice and stuff. You know what I mean?
I think that.
Yeah, like we're actual friends, even though we were intimately involved at a point. Like we're friends, you know.
So would you say that you guys were better off as friends and not lovers?
Yeah, absolutely. We probably are.
Some relationships are like that.
Yeah, because like, okay, we're both committed to someone else at the moment. So obviously we know our boundaries. You know what I mean? I would never step over those boundaries. He would never step over mine. So we have that respect for each other. But we know that if we ever need to talk, we're there. You know what I mean? Like obviously our significant others are gonna come first. Because if I need to talk, I'm going to my man first, right? But like, if I need a second opinion or something like that, or like I need to talk about something related to my friend, then obviously I'd bring it up to him. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But having said all of that, even if you do choose to be friends or be cordial with an ex, definitely have the respect for your current significant other to actually tell them about this friendship. You know?
That's big.
Yeah, like don't keep it a secret from them because then it just makes you look shady. You know, for no reason.
Transparency is where it's at. You gotta be transparent, be open, be upfront. Let them know, like, hey, my ex and I still
talk. Here's our messages if you want to see, just in case.
Yeah.
You know, like.
You see, that's why I cut it, right? Because I don't have time to put up with high school nonsense like that. Like for me, that's childish. Like, I don't need a woman to second guess, like, oh, do I still have feelings for my ex, or why is she still messaging you? Right, just to avoid all those little unnecessary things that I don't need to bring to deal with. Yeah, I just cut it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah. So for me, it's like I wanna take control of that. So before the insecurities come and all the little questions come, like why,
yeah.
I'm gonna just cut it so I don't have to deal with that. Yeah. And I don't think it's fair for me to put my next partner through that stage. So it's like, instead of having to put you through that and having you second guessing and having to go through that whole crazy girl stage where she's constantly checking and saying I don't trust you or whatever, and her friends, because you already know these girls and their detective friends, yes, y'all are detectives, instead of having all that, I just cut it because I don't have the time or energy to deal with that.
Right.
You know, we might as well put our energy and time towards building on us and working on us and what's important. Yeah. Right, like that person's in the past, and there's a reason why they're in the past.
Right.
So I'm gonna kill it.
Absolutely. And to build on that, I feel like guys who are in that situation, like they're still friends with their ex and they're still texting their ex, this might be biased, but I feel like guys are more likely. Every time he gives me that look, you know what's coming. But I feel like guys are more likely to give in a little bit more to their ex.
Spewing some blasphemy right now.
Hold on.
No,
yeah, I feel
continue.
like guys are just more likely to give in to the temptation of getting back with their ex when they're still in contact with them. This is just based on observation, let's say. So, yeah, they're more likely to because, like, I don't know, you guys, it's hard for you to control your desires, I guess. Because, like, obviously you were once attracted to this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard not to think back on the memories that you used to have with them if you're still in contact with them. For me, being a girl, I don't know if other girls are like this, but for me, I'm able to shut down a certain part of my feelings, you know what I mean? Especially if, like, I already dealt with this person, I know who they are, you know, we ended things, and that's pretty much where my mind is at. We've ended things, but I choose to be cordial with them because that's just who I am. Like, I don't like to hold anything against anybody, whether they're a friend or whether they were a past lover. I don't like to hold it because that hurts me in the end, you know, like that kind of puts a dent in my sanity. But he just looks so unconvinced.
No, I'm gonna wait for you to finish. I'm gonna wait for you.
So I'm trying to say that, like, for girls or for me personally, I feel like I'm way better able to control my desires because I don't have any desires for this person anymore. Like, they're just
So what
a stranger all over again.
So what you're trying to say right now is that women have better self-control than men. That's over their sexual desires.
I believe so, to be honest.
Wow.
From what I've seen, I don't know how other girls
from
are,
what
but
you've seen.
yeah.
Oh.
I know my friends, like, they're like that too.
Yo, that is a topic that I think all of us need to discuss. Like, what do you guys think? Do you feel like a woman has more self-control of her desires, sexual desires, than a man? Wow. I'm not gonna lie, I may have to agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like a woman is able to just withdraw herself like that.
Absolutely.
Like instantly. And it's just
In a
like
second,
in a second. It's just like what, you not feeling me no more? Like, what's going on? And she's just like, nope. Like, we could talk and all that, but going past that line, nope.
Yeah, no.
And I don't know how y'all do it. But yeah, I mean, and it's crazy because they usually say that women are more emotional and men are more logical.
Yeah. But, you know, it gets to that point where, like, you've wasted so much emotion on this person.
Oh, wow.
And then you just become numb towards them. So it's like, yeah, I can cut off my feelings quick.
So you pretty much ran out of emotions. Like, he's used up all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Precisely. Just
Learn something new. Learn something new every day. That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, that's why I'm, like, totally fine with being friends with that ex.
Gotcha.
You know,
'Cause
my most recent, whatever he was, that I ended things with, I wouldn't say that we're on good terms, but I would say if I saw him in person, we're cordial. You know, like, I wouldn't try to be buddy with him because there's negativity still lingering.
Just a high vibe.
Yeah, there's still negativity there. So yes, it's just a high bye. It's just like, oh, okay, you know, how are you doing? Goodbye. You know.
Like, I commend you for doing it. Like, I personally can't do that because for me it's like, if I see my ex, like, it's gonna bring up everything from the past, you know, from like the good times to the bad times. And for me it's like, I don't like living in the past, and I believe like whatever is in the past, I'm gonna leave it in the past because whatever is ahead is better.
Right.
And if I keep this relationship or friendship with this person who's an ex, it's gonna hinder me from finding what's next.
Sure.
And that may block me from my blessing, and I'm not trying to block my blessing. Now I know some of y'all might be saying, well, what if your ex was the one, right? Well, I mean, if they were the one, we would have still been together, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Valid point.
Now I'm not saying like there are circumstances where people do break up and then they get back together, and then they're just like how God brought us back together, right? But for me personally, it's just like, no, if you're in the past, you're in the past. That's it. I'm keeping moving.
We know about colorism, right?
Colorism. That's where someone chooses someone based on their color.
Yes.
The color of their skin.
But what's your take on texturism in terms of a guy going for a girl because of the texture of her hair. What's your take?
Wow. No one has ever asked me that question. That's new. Based on the texture of her hair. Wow. I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I was actually guilty of that. I actually didn't want to be with a black woman because of her kinky, coily hair. I'm gonna use the correct terms. I'm not gonna say the N-word.
Nappy.
Nappy.
Which is a very triggering term.
Well, you said it, I didn't say it. But yeah.
I didn't want them to think it was the other N-word. That's why I had to specify.
True. But yeah, the word nappy, right? That's what everyone says, but it's actually kinky, coily. I didn't want to be with someone with kinky, coily hair because one thing I learned very young from my dad was financial decisions, right? And seeing, growing up with black women, right? My mom has 5 sisters, so my whole family's pretty much all women. I would see them like every other week or so, just buying weave and buying braids and changing their hair. And my fear was, well, what if my wife and I get divorced? She's not taking my daughter at all, right? And so at that point, now I gotta provide for my daughter, and I don't know how to braid. I don't know how to do any of those hairstyles, right? So I'm just like, yo, financially, that's not a smart decision. But then that was just me being young and naive. And as I got older, I realized like, oh snap, like yo, black women do actually have nice hair. Like they can actually grow their hair out if they treat it properly and things like that and take care of it. So then my perception of that began to change. But I was guilty of that, where I wanted the light-skinned girl with the nice curly hair, or the Indian looking girl with the long straight hair, because I didn't want to deal with the kinks and the coils. So yeah, that was my take on it. Now it's just like right, learning from you and your channel and other hair specialists out there, like you can actually grow your hair out if you take care of it and you do all the nice treatments and everything that you need to do. So now it's just like I really don't care. Like as long as you got a beautiful smile and a genuine personality, be cool, be good.
Yeah, and
how about you? Because I'm pretty sure there's girls out there who go after guys with certain types of hair as well.
No, I mean for me, like that never really happened. But I will tell you guys that like, okay, something related to that. Basically, when I was younger, and I really shouldn't have been thinking about guys, but I was.
How young were you?
I think my first crush was when I was like 6 years old. Yeah, he was Asian. And not that there's anything, well, okay, let me not start with that. Let me just say, I was never really picky. Yes, 6 years old. Let's just say I was never really picky when I was young, when it came to guys. But it's like I found myself steering away from liking black guys. And that had nothing to do with them. You know, it had more to do with the generation that I was gonna create from them. You know what I mean? So the reason why I kind of strayed away from the black guys and went towards the non-black guys is because I wanted my offspring to have hair that was seen as more manageable and more acceptable in this society and that society too, because obviously it's things are a little different now. But yeah, like I can't lie, I was guilty of texturism too, in a sense. You know, it's not like I didn't want a guy because of his hair. It was more like I didn't want a black guy because of my child's hair, what kind of hair we would create together.
So you were thinking in the future.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like me, right? Where it's like I didn't want to be left with my daughter and having to deal with her hair.
Yeah, because my main
financial.
Yeah, yours was financial. My main thing was that I just didn't want my daughter to go through the same thing that I went through when I was younger, because I was pretty self-hating, you know, like I didn't like my hair, I didn't like my skin back then. I didn't like my features, my big lips, my nose, all that. I didn't like any of it, you know. But obviously as I grew older and I got into, I think it was around high school when my perception started to change a little bit more. and I started to appreciate my features and like where I came from and like my texture and everything like that. It's just that I didn't really know what to do with my texture back then, but that's a different story. But yeah, that was the time when I started to become more attractive to men that were of my race, so black men pretty much. But yeah, I was definitely guilty of texturism at a point in my life when I really shouldn't have been thinking about that stuff, but yeah.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. The fact that you're not just thinking about yourself, but about your future children and your offspring. That's deep.
Yeah. But like now it's like I want my daughter to have kinky coily hair because I want her to appreciate it, and I don't want her to have to go through what I went through. Instead, I want her to have my hair, but like learn how to take care of it at a young age. That's something that I was kind of not given the opportunity of. And I want her to like be proud of who she is, you know what I mean? As a black woman, you know. But yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned something where you said you were kind of ashamed of, was it ashamed of your features or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or self-hating, that's what you said, self-hating. And you said something off camera where you asked, was it a result of us hating where we came from or our culture? Do you feel like that played a role in the whole, all the hair and all of that? Or how big of a role do you think that plays of like us hating our culture?
Like in terms of texturism?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of texturism, I feel like self-hatred definitely is probably the main cause of us like gravitating towards certain textures and not ours.
Yeah.
Simply because it's like the textures that you're running away from are the same textures that raised you. You know, think of your mom, think of your sister, think of all the women in your life as a black man. You know, we all have the same hair type. We do. You know, we're all black. We usually have like the kinkier, coilier spectrum of hair versus other cultures who have the silkier, longer, that textured hair. You know, and it's beautiful, all of it, regardless of what spectrum you're on, all of it is beautiful. But like the fact that they stray away from that type of texture, it's like, bro, that's where you came from. You know, why not expand your generation a little bit more?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, for myself personally, like when you brought that up, I was just like I never really thought about it that way. But then I started thinking about it, I was just like, yeah, like I kind of gravitated towards other races based off the texture of their hair, and because it kind of reminded me of where I came from, and I was kind of ashamed of where I came from. So yeah, that concludes another episode on Kamal's Corner. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. Again, I am Kamal Huggins. This is the lovely Jhade B. Y'all can go ahead and check her out on Instagram at Jhade B. Also head over and check her out on her channel at That Brady Chick for more natural hair growth products and journey and style tips and all that, the whole nine. I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, share. I want to hear from you. Let us know what y'all think about everything that was discussed today.
Hey guys, it's me again. So if you enjoyed that one, make sure you check out his previous video and make sure to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to his channel since you're already here. So might as well subscribe. Like, what else are you gonna do? Anyways, catch you in the next one because I'm pretty sure I'll be there too. Bye.